Zamazenta or Zacian? Which is better for raids in Pokemon GO? Well, today I'll be running with you guys some numbers and hopefully we will figure that out by the end of the video, right? So hi to all of you guys! So yes, this is my crown form Zacian that I actually got when I was in Osaka, but in order to get the other one, Zamazenta, crown form Zamazenta, you need the energy, which I do not have enough of, because I have not played the other event yet. I mean, nobody in the world right now on the 4th of June actually will be able to get both the crown forms yet. But we're going to check out some numbers and we're going to run things, I mean, some simulations or so. So let's go ahead to check out GoHub. Alright, so GoHub has came out with an article about a week ago talking about both the crown Zacian and the crown Zamazenta in terms of the meta, in terms of how whether is it good for raids and for other situations like PvP or so. So we're going to go through everything together so you guys can see crown form Zacian and Zamazenta, man, they are really amazing Pokemon, and I'll show you guys over here. So yeah, as it's stated over here that the Go Fest 2025 season is here with two of the strongest Pokemon in the game grace the meta, Zacian Crown Sword and Zamazenta Crown Shield. So we're gonna see how strong these two Pokemon are, these two doggies are. In order to get the move Behemoth Blade and Behemoth Bash, you need to actually get Iron Head on both the Pokemon. So I've actually changed all mine over here, which I'll show you guys over here, to actually get all okay, not this one, but this one, Iron Head. Alright, so get Snarl and Iron Head and Close Combat. This one had Close Combat and it actually changed to get Behemoth Blade. So if you actually change the move, change the form, it will actually prompt you to actually have Iron Head so you can get the move, the Behemoth Bash itself. So it's great that they actually prompt you instead of just evolving and then, or should I say using the energy, then eventually you don't get the move. So there's still adventure effects to it, but there's no information in terms of how good it is and what it can do. But I know it will be able to boost the attack and also the defense when you actually use the adventure effects, I believe in raids and also in power sport battles. So that's going to be quite interesting, whether is it for yourself or whether is this just for your party, we're not sure also yet. So let's see how that works. So yes, you guys can see this is how it looks like in the main series game. Those two looks really cool when they appeared in the main series game for the very first time. So now we're going to look through a bit of the numbers to see how they perform. So the max CP for Zacian is at 5,629 as a Hundo level 50. Of course, you can best buddy up to go up to level 51 and it goes even higher than that. Whereas the Shield is at 4,717 CP. So I always tell people this though, the CP, the combat power, isn't the most important thing. There's so many Pokemon out there with under like 5,000 CP, but yet does better than 5,000 CP Pokemon. I'm talking about slacking. Okay, so I'm talking about slacking being above 5,000 CPs at 5,010, but this particular Pokemon, Mewtwo is better, Palkia is better, Kyogre is better, Groudon is better, Necrozma is better, need me say more. We still have Drillbur and we got Shadow, Machamp, etc. that is better than that. Even a Pidgey is better than that. Yes, I'm not joking. So anyway, let's go back to this over here. You guys can see that the attack stat of the crown Zacian is at 332, whereas this shield Zamazenta is 250, whereas defense for the Zacian is 240, and the defense for the Zamazenta is 292. So that's the difference between the two of them. First of all, in terms of stats wise, you can see that one is attack weighted Zacian, one is defense weighted Zamazenta. Alright, so hence sword and shield. Alright, attack and defense. So the typing is also different. You can see that crown form Zacian is actually a fairy and steel type Pokemon, which basically triple resists dragon, whereas for the crown shield Zamazenta, it's a fighting and steel type Pokemon. Both of them are weak to ground and also fire, hence you can see it's weak to fire and ground and also fighting for Zamazenta itself. HP both are the same, 192. Resistance, there are a whole bunch of resistance over there, which is insane. To me, having a fairy and steel type Pokemon, especially for PvP, is actually the best typing in the game, defense and offensive wise. Alright, so the moves, both of them have Metal Claw, and it has Air Slash for the Zacian, and it's Ice Fang for the Zamazenta, which is pretty decent. Charge move, yes, Behemoth Blade, Behemoth Bash, whereas both of them also have a Fairy, Fighting, and a normal type move. Whereas there's no Wild Charge anymore for Zacian. There's also no, what's the other move for Zamazenta? I cannot remember the Zamazenta one, but let me just do a quick check. Okay, we can do over here. If you guys forgot what move your mons have, you can go here, go to the battle, scroll all the way down. Crunch. Okay, so remember this feature is available for any Pokemon. Just go to your Pokédex, scroll all the way to the bottom over here. You can see Caught, Info, and Battle. Tap the Battle, scroll down, you can see the fast move, the charge move, and the resistance and everything. Really very useful Pokédex stuff over there. So go back to here though. You guys can see you'll be mainly using both the Zacian and Zamazenta as a steel type attacker. Okay, but they also are good as a fairy and fighting type attacker. I mean, respectively. However, if you guys notice, there is no fairy or fighting type fast moves at all for these two Pokemon. So that's something to take into consideration. So it's stated over there. Yeah, Zacian doesn't learn any fairy type fast move. Alright, and Zamazenta learns fighting type of fast move like Coaching, Reversal, Revenge, which can be implemented as fast move in Pokemon GO. That's in the future, but as of now, it doesn't have it at all. So even though it doesn't have any fairy type fast move and fighting type fast move right now, I'll show you guys some numbers later on to see how insane Zacian is as a fairy type attacker. So first of all, let's go to check out the both move, Behemoth Blade for Zacian and Behemoth Bash for Zamazenta. This is very important. Okay, this part here I would suggest to really take note of one very important thing, and that's the energy. So typing, they're the same power as in damage. The Zacian one is at 200, Zamazenta is 125, whereas the energy, alright, for Zacian is 100, Zamazenta is 50. Alright, of course, we want to go into the nitty-gritty, the cooldown, how quickly a move gets to be used, and then you can use your fast move again. Zacian one is 3.5 seconds, which is slower, whereas the Crown Shield is 1.5 seconds, which is 2 seconds faster. Alright, there's all those animation time and all sorts of things when you use a charge move, so the quicker it is, the better it is, because you can go back to your fast move again, if that makes sense. So the DPS, damage per second wise, when you actually use the move respectively, is at 57.14 and 83.33 for the Zacian and Zamazenta's moves. So making the Behemoth Bash a better move, basically making Zamazenta a better Pokemon as a steel type attacker, despite the fact that it actually has over 80 attack stat, 84 attack stat, lower than Zacian itself. So when you consider the fact that it's a 2-bar charge move, when you use 50 energy and you deal 125 damage, basically with 100 energy on both of them, Zacian will do 200 damage worth of power, whereas the other one, Zamazenta, will do 250. So if you take into consideration that the cooldown is also 3 seconds for 2 Behemoth Bash, basically you will deal more damage with the Behemoth Bash than the Behemoth Blade. So when you look at this part over here, then you realize that actually the Zamazenta, the Crown Shield, is actually better than the Crown Sword, Zacian. So that's something we have to take into consideration. Whereas for PvP, the damage wise from Zacian is 100, Zamazenta is 80, energy is 55 and 45 respectively. 30% chance to debuff the opponent, the defense by 1 stage, attack by 1 stage respectively too. So that being taken into consideration, you guys can see I'm not going to run through this because I've already explained it. So yeah, but Behemoth Bash, it stays over here that it's a 2-bar charge move, and with a damage of 125, cooldown 1.5 seconds, it gives the DPS of 83.33. That is crazy. This move itself is super duper overpowered. Alright, it's even crazier than like Metagross with Meteor Mash, alright, etc., which is insane. So now let's take a look at Zacian being a fairy type attacker. So I said that, you know, Zacian doesn't have a fairy type fast move, right? But even so, we can see over here a fairy type attacker. Mega Gardevoir is number 1. Second is Crown Form Zacian. Yes, there's a reason for that. Third is Mega Alakazam. Fourth is Shadow Gardevoir. Fifth is Incarnate Form Enamorous, and so on and so forth. So we have to take into consideration one thing though. We can only have one Mega. So obviously using Mega Gardevoir makes sense over using Mega Alakazam. So Mega Alakazam cannot be used already if you actually have a team of just one Mega Gardevoir first. So which is the next best Pokemon to use that? Crown Form Zacian. Why? Because you can see over here on the right side, despite the fact that it doesn't have a fairy type fast move, its damage per second is at 17.83, which is way higher than any other fairy type Pokemon out there, which is insane. Okay, the TDO is at 386.7, giving it a score of 34.7. Basically, it is the number 1 fairy type attacker, alright, behind of just Mega Gardevoir as a non-Mega, not having a fairy type fast move. How insane is that? Alright, so that taken into consideration. Of course, if you're gonna rate something that doesn't resist steel also, then obviously this would work. But if you're gonna rate something that resists steel, then you know, using Shadow Gardevoir would be better also. But if you're gonna fight Garslot, you know, being double weak to Fairy, that would be great to use Crown Form Zacian instead of Shadow Gardevoir, because it wins both in the DPS and TDO section. Alright, so we're gonna scroll down and now take a look over here. Yep, so you can see that as a steel type attacker, right now over here, this is the part that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are very interested to see. The Crown Form Zacian versus the Crown Form Zamazenta as steel type attacker. You can see over here, number 1 right now is Crown Form Zamazenta, and then Crown Sword Zacian. Third is Dustmane Necrozma. Oh my god. All the effort for last year. Yeah, being way stronger than Shadow Metagross, and now it has already been dethroned in just a year. How quick. Look at the power creep, man. Okay, but anyway, you guys can see over here that Zamazenta has a DPS of 24.37, whereas Zacian has a DPS of 27.64, whereas our Dustmane Necrozma has 23.63. Shadow Metagross is at 20.83. By the way, they all beat Mega Metagross, alright, those three, alright. Apart from Shadow Metagross in certain situations, but DPS wise it still beats Shadow Metagross. So clearly we can see the top 3 winners are, yep, the Crown, and also the Dustmane Necrozma. So you can see that it is so powerful, that is so crazy. I already knew, you know, like Shadow Metagross is gonna get dethroned by Dustmane Necrozma, but I didn't expect that these two doggies to actually be so powerful. That's more powerful than the Dustmane Necrozma itself. So TDO wise, total damage output, by the way, DPS is damage per second. Okay, the Zamazenta is at 636.4 TDO. That is insane compared to the other Pokemon, whereas Zacian is at 534.5. So the only difference in terms of like DPS is at 0.27, for Zacian being slightly higher by 0.27, which technically is about 1.1%. So DPS wise, alright, Zacian is better by 1.1%. TDO wise, yep, is way higher, as in the Zamazenta is way higher by over 10%, which basically it has a better score, overall score for rates, etc., which is truly insane. Alright, so I would say that it's very situational dependent whether Zacian or Zamazenta is better, but you have to understand that both of them can be used for Dynamax battles also. And Zamazenta, the Crown Form Zamazenta, if you have a Max Guard unlocked, you would actually have an instant Max Guard when the moment you enter the battle, whereas Zacian doesn't have an instant attack or whatsoever. That's quite sad to see. So my best suggested team, if you want to rate like Power Spot, if you want to battle Power Spot like D-Max or G-Max, would be to use 1 Zamazenta and 2 Zacians, alright, as attackers. Of course, you can use 2 Zamazentas and 1 Zacian, also depending on the situation, on how you want to play it. But I'll recommend using 1 and 2, whichever you want to do it. So it's pretty insane to see that these two Pokemon now are like the top tier, number 1 steel type attacker over Necrozma. Steel typing Pokemon, you know, like is really, really good because it's so good. As for PvP wise, I'll just give you guys a quick summary. Crown Form Zacian is number 1, Zamazenta is number 2 in the Master League. So that's that. Okay, not gonna go through further detail, but yes, they are very, very crazy Pokemon to get. Now we're gonna check out some simulations, okay, over here. So since we have the Regis over here on the top, let's just use them, alright, for the quick simulation. We're gonna fight against Reggie Rock right now, Reggie Ice right now, sorry. So Reggie Ice is weak to Steel also, so we're gonna check out over here. Okay, so as overall attacker, the number 1 Pokemon is Mega Lucario, but you can only use 1 Mega, like I said, which is the next best Pokemon non-Mega than Zamazenta, alright, which is insane, with damage, time to win of 626.1. I normally use time to win, by the way. Zacian is at 627.7, so it's quicker to take down the Reggie Ice with Zamazenta than Zacian. But if we were to change some of the moves a little bit for the Red Boss itself, sometimes it would change. So I'll show you guys over here. So it doesn't change. Over here, it's saying Frost Breath and Blizzard. Zacian would then come ahead of Zamazenta. Over here also, Blizzard, you can see it's ahead. So it's very, very moveset dependent from the Reggie itself, or should I say the red boss itself. Whereas for Regirock, okay, we go down and see here now, Zacian is now higher than Zamazenta. How? Alright, like I said, it's very move dependent, but it's only a difference of 0.8 seconds. So Zamazenta is higher, then over here you see Zamazenta is higher, but if we use Stone Age, then Zacian is higher. Over here is also Zacian is higher, and Stone Age again, Zacian is still higher. Yep. So that's quite interesting to see. Another Pokemon two more Pokemon that we run simulation on. We run it on Black and White Kyurem. Okay, let's scroll down to look for Black and White Kyurem, Black and White Kyurem, Black and White Kyurem. It's over here. Okay, so Black and White Kyurem. Excuse me, where are you? Yeah. So we're gonna run on Black Kyurem. So Black Kyurem, you know, is weak to Fighting Rock, Steel, Dragon, and Fairy. So we can see over here. Alright, number 1 is Mega Lucario. Next is Zamazenta Crown Shield. Whereas number 4 is Zacian Crown Shield. Basically, if you remove away the Megas, it'll be Zamazenta then Zacian itself. But if you were to change the moves to like Outrage, alright, it's gonna be Zacian. Or if you change to Dragon Tail Outrage, because Zacian triple resist Dragon, then Zacian will be ahead of Zamazenta. Right, makes sense. Let's go to check out against White Kyurem also. Okay, so White Kyurem over here, you can see that that would beat, Zamazenta would beat. In whatever move set, most of the time it's going to be Zamazenta. Even Ice Fang Blizzard is going to be Zamazenta. Until we use Ice Fang and Dragon Pulse or Dragon Breath and Ancient Power, etc., then Zacian would then be higher. So a weaker move set from the red boss, then Zacian will be higher itself. So overall, I will tell you that Zamazenta is the better one to use as compared to Zacian itself. I would say in about 60% of the situation, the crowned form Zamazenta, the crown shield Zamazenta, is better than the crown sword Zacian. Alright, for rates itself. So I've already shown you guys the numbers and everything. So hopefully this will help you guys to make a decision in terms of which path to choose, whether you go for the crown shield or the crown sword. If you only have the choice to make one, I really recommend going for the Zamazenta. Now knowing that it's a better mon to use than the Zacian itself, but I mean, given the opportunity, if you are able to get the energy, especially once both of them actually comes in the form of crown rates, then you can actually get the energy much easier, especially during the day 1 and day 2 global. So for the in-person event, you can only get 1000 energy either one of them, and then you can get more once the global is out. Same thing as the Crossma last year, hence why during the Osaka Go Fest, I actually free pass only did 76 rates in the 4 days. Many people use their premium passes and everything, so I got 19 free passes times 4, that's 76. That's the number of rates I did in the 4 days. Likewise for my event over here in New York, New Jersey, I'm planning to do also just all the free passes. Once I'm onto the free premium pass, I'm not using them anymore until the crown forms are available to get the energy. Alright, so that's my strategy and that's my plan. I do not really need the hundos anymore, but Zacian, yes, I need the hundos, but I still have parries to actually go for also, so I'll be just raiding Zacians all the way to try and get myself a second hundo, maybe a third if I'm lucky enough. Alright, so that's it from me, man. Hopefully you guys got good information in terms of knowing which mon to go for, but they're really strong Pokemon to get, so hopefully you guys will be able to get yourself either Zamazenta or Zacian itself. But if you guys enjoyed this video and found this video useful, definitely remember to leave a like on the video, be much appreciated. Thank you very much, and also to share this video out with your friends and also with your community to help them know which Pokemon to get. Alright, so that's it from me. I'll see you guys in the next episode in the next video. Alright, by the way, if you guys are also here for the New Jersey event, see you guys, and we have some meetup information that will be posted under the community tab soon. Alright, so goodbye.